Hi, my name is Wilson Dixon. I'm going to do for everybody a quick video about some very, very dubious characters. I don't know if I can say dubious. Should probably have scripted some of this. I'm going right off the fly. Um, okay, so my critique is going to be about Kong and Jump Cut. Jump Cut University. This guy named Jesse. I watched his video, and to talk about his video, he starts off with some very simple stuff. He's using a monotone for his monologue, and he is critiquing um, why some people are bad and some people are not. And basically, he's saying there's two kinds of people I don't like. You know, the people that thumb through what it is I'm doing, spend a couple minutes, and then go on. And the people that he likes are the people that really get into the meat and potatoes of something, which obviously he wants you to do. So he's basically saying if you're the type of whatever kind of loser, I don't know why I'm quoting. If if you're the type of loser that's going to just look at my video and then take off, then I don't want you here. That's basically what he's saying. When in reality, he is using ploys. There's some strong connection with neurolinguistic programming here that you can see, and it's usually the kinds of conversational ploys that grab people's attention. He does the attention getters, which is amazing. Like I mean, he understands enough information to get people to be absorbed into the content of what it is that he's talking about and try and uh, and utilize different ways of relaying that information to you. At some points, he's trying to discuss key things, but he actually doesn't give you any kind of real key thing that is real information. And the reason for this is he'll say things to get you grabbed. Are you the kind of person that likes to make lots of money? Well, obviously, everybody out there wants to make a few dollars. So he's giving you this. This is all you have to do. Pitch and and trying to bring you into this world, and at the same time, not give you anything that you can really work with. Much like the fasting guy, which I'm not going to talk about until I get into another video. Now I know that some of these guys um, they have a great idea, but they're not giving you anything. They're not going to give you anything at all. They want your credit card number. If you even call in to check your credit score, that is a check against you. Every time you call in, like when you go and you look up, you want to get a phone, somebody does a credit check. Every time they do a credit check, then that's against you. That's a strike against you every single time. And you can call your creditor and you can actually talk to them about this. So let's try and think about how we can approach these sorts of problems. The way that we would approach any of these kinds of problems is to simply do a little bit of research on, who this person is. So you know that it's called Jump Cut, right? And it's Kong with Jump Cut. Now, I went in and sat down and watched their full video because, I wanted to give these guys the benefit of a doubt. But as soon as he started talking, I heard that monologue um, sales pitch sort of voice. At the end, they're asking you for a credit card number. And the reason why I brought up your credit score and these sorts of things, once they have your credit card number, they don't necessarily have to do anything with it. Look up in different companies what having your credit card could do. And 9 times out of 10, I mean, even if there is no scheme here that's, really underhanded, they're not really necessarily giving you anything that you can't really do on your own. There's loads and loads of YouTube channels out there. There's that many YouTube channels out there, it's unfit. And if there is a way to make money off of this, why would they be trying to sell you a program? If they're doing well and making money off of it, I mean, they're trying to, they, they should just give it to you. The hell with it. We're just going to give it to you. We don't care because we already make our money off of it. But they're not. They're trying to sell it to people, and therein lies the problem. And that's when everybody's light bulb should go off. If you're already making money, if I was making money off of this, what I'm doing right now, what benefit would it be to me, like, to say that I want to help you, but only if you're going to pay me, even if it's a year or 2 years from now. Even if it did work and you started making money from it, I mean, that would be a really great thing, and I would be like, but what what benefit really? Like, are they making any money off of the internet? Are they really? Are you actually making money? I've seen a few like checks that they put up. I've seen this, I don't know how many different times from different kinds of get rich quick or make lots of money via the internet kinds of applications. People putting things up and saying, "This is how you do it," and very rarely does anybody say, "I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it right now. You don't have to, you know, you don't actually have to pay me anything." No, they talk about legal formatting, who is in control of that, how not to plagiarize, uh, and aside from all these things, one of the things that they said that really bothered me was um, they wasted all this time in education. That right there is a big red flag for me. It's a big red flag. I wasted all this time in college. I wasted all this time in school. Blah 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 blah. Going on about it. So after I hear I wasted all this time in school, like everything you're going to say after that to me is horrific. So you're telling loads of people out there, young people, who, no matter how what the situation is, most young people don't want to be in school. They're in school every single day, so they're working every day, and school is work. Most people would like put it because they already went through it. They put it behind them. They you don't do it as an adult. Once you're past it, you're just like, I mean, because you spent all these years. But you go back to school, like I'm back in school, and you start doing some of these things that you did when you were young, and you start finding out, wow, like some of this stuff is really difficult. It's really stressful, and I don't know how I got through it as a kid. That's why a lot of kids end up getting stressed out. That's why a lot of bad things end up happening. You have children who are really stressed out, and then you come along with this "I can show you how to get rich" scheme, and then say some bad stuff about school. Say school is, you don't need to go to school to earn money. So what happens for any kind of future event when YouTube ends up getting regulated in a way where you need a licensing, or you need legal backup. You need actual lawyers to present some of this stuff, and then like copyright infringement becomes a huge problem, and then all of a sudden you're getting sued for repeating an idea that somebody had, or some other such thing. What happens then? These guys would have a great idea if their great idea involved an actual um, uh, institution that does cater to education, because they're saying that the education that you're doing now anyway is garbage, and they reference one place. I watched the video and they referenced one place, and they said, no, they only got like 25 hits on their site. You know, big deal, big deal. Maybe you should go to them and talk to them about their institution and see if they will hire you on and become a part of that, or yeah, simply become a part of that institution that you said is a failed institution, and show them how to do it, and uh, uh, incorporate what you know, and then you actually have an institution that's recognized, and your know-how, which is recognized, and then do this for people, and then you have an intuition, no, sorry, intuition, have a tuition thing, and actually make something happen for real. But from what I can see, um, in a really messed up way, is uh, is somebody saying that they have an institution and telling you to stay away from an institution and telling you that they can get you rich quick. So what happens when you involve yourself in this and you do put the time in? Because they're saying it's a get rich quick scheme, but you got to put your work in. You got to like do your videos. You got to host this time. You got to be there and you got to do this. So what happens when you start to host and do your thing and spend your time and your school starts to go down the drain? Your education goes down the drain, and then you're stuck. And you have like you can't go back to school. It's not going to be easy for you to get back to where you were, and you're failing in this, and they got your credit card number, and and who knows? Like who knows? You're losing a bit of validity in the way that you are presenting your information, because it sounds like they're presenting their information in a very intelligent way, but then at the same time, they're putting down institutions, actual institutions of education, saying that these things are nonsense. I wasted so much time doing this in school and that in school and blah 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 blah. Like it's seriously messed up. I have children. I want my children to finish school. I don't want them to go off and become full time YouTubers because they can make a few thousand here and there. I would really like to see them get degrees and do things that are worthwhile. Like the internet is bound to change. Well, it's ever changing, but it's bound to change dramatically over the next 10, 15 years. And new licensing and regulations will be coming with those changes. The more is understood and known about any kind of device or technology or utilization of multimedia information can and will be changed in a way where certain things will be enforced because the rights of individuals can be misused, misled, and misappropriated. Like I don't know if I'm using a lot of my words very correctly, but I don't know much about legal things. But this can be a very slippery slope. You have a whole group of people in a time in life that could lose their livelihood because some small things. And I'm not just saying this about this guy, like this group, but they were using some very strong strategies of of behavior modification, modifying other people's behavior via neurolinguistics, knowing what to say, and using they were using statistical imagery. I've been doing stats. I've been doing a lot of stuff with stats in school here lately. And when I see it, I'm like, you put up that stat, and most people don't know what is really being said here. Like somehow, when it's on a piece of paper or I put as a stat, it's like, oh, that's a guarantee because most statistics are based on the accumulation of mass amounts of information and utilized in a way that helps people see this here is very important, and this is what happens. So if you have Statistics Canada, putting something out, it's because they made a bunch of phone calls and they did a bunch of research and they talked to a lot of people in person and they did a lot of surveys and then they accumulated all this information and put it down into detail and processed it. And over the course of like, I don't know how long they this is what they did. But this guy is like based on his own personal experience of what he did, when he was making a YouTube channel, created this statistic uh, and just put it out there. Rise over run right in front of you. Had the dates, the time, and the amount, and the consistent year of which whatever. Like anybody can make one of those, and it doesn't literally mean anything. But these were the strong imageries that were being used, and it told me right off the hop that if there's people out there that are not really um, don't really understand a lot of this information, and they're going to think that this is all pretty legitimate and really means something. So they're going to take a risk. They're going to use their PayPal or they're going to use their credit card or they're going to use whatever to actually give some money to these people who say that they're making money off of the internet anyway, and they're going to teach you how to make money off of the internet. And you could make up to thousand. Well, you can't blame it on them afterwards, can you? Because they're not saying that you will; they're saying that you can and you could, and it's possible too. And I'm going to guarantee you that some of this stuff works. What some of it? What parts of it? What works and what's being utilized properly? I know I might be misquoting some of the things that are being said here. This is strictly my opinion on what I'm seeing. Anything that I'm saying here that is in any way misleading, if it is in fact misleading, then I'm that's not the point. The point is that it's a pretty good possibility that what you're seeing in some of these things can be potentially harmful, and you should do a lot of research. I'm not saying not to go to this James Kong jump cut. It's called jump cut. I'm not saying don't go after it. What I'm saying is do a nice bit of research before you actually step your foot into the door and start doing some of these things. Otherwise, you find yourself in a very hard position. I do, however, think that they should rethink what it is that they've been saying and reevaluate how they've been portraying their information. They're doing it in a very shoddy way, which to me is actually pretty funny because I don't have any large amount of you know knowledge based on doing some of these things on the internet. What I do have knowledge in is some of the techniques that are being used in order to get a message across, and it's a very very strong techniques. These are very very strong techniques. The way that he keeps a monotone to hold interest and and ask questions that are very obvious about things that are very important to everybody. I mean, how would you like to make this much money? Every time you see a weight loss tape, it's how would you like to lose, 50 pounds in 1 month? Well, anybody who is overweight, and I've been overweight, um, yeah, of course, I'd love to lose 50 pounds in a month and be that easy and that simple. But it's almost never that easy and that simple. And you're usually always giving up something, and it will always come back on you because whatever you give up, you won't be able to do for any extended period of time. So in any of these situations, it's a very slippery slope because you really don't know the thing that you're looking at, the information that you're getting could sound really good, but can be very, very bad. And what I'm saying is research. Simply research. Find out as much as you can about what you're putting yourself into before you put yourself into. If you're already being educated, then you're probably already smart enough to know this. And you don't need my advice. But I tend to think that there should be more people who care about the people that are around you and speak up and say something. Your brothers and sisters out there in the world might be desperate enough to think that it's okay. Anyway, you guys have a wonderful night.